Russian Tu-95MS strategic bombers were armed with Kh-101 cruise missiles intended for strikes on Ukraine before they were destroyed, according to drone footage released by Ukraine's security service. The video, recorded by Ukrainian kamikaze drones, shows what the SSU reports were preparations for a missile strike. The agency said the intensity of the fires at the airfields indicates that the aircraft had been refueled for takeoff. Footage from the Belaya and Olenia air bases captures long-range X-101 cruise missiles mounted under the wings of Tu-95MS bombers. HES are the same missiles Russia has used in repeated strikes on Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. According to the SSU, the Pavotina Spiderweb operation disrupted the planned attack and destroyed several of Russia's long-range bombers. On June 1st, Ukrainian drones struck several Russian military airfields. The drones, delivered in advance to Russian territory, targeted aircraft used in long-range missile attacks. Some Ukrainian commentators referred to the scale of the damage as a new Tsushima for Russian aviation. According to official statements, the SSU used 117 attack drones launched from containers mounted on trucks. In an address later that day, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reported that the operation had been directed from inside Russia, near the FSS headquarters. A senior NATO official shared that the alliance had recorded damage to at least 40 Russian aircraft, with 10 to 13 reportedly destroyed. The official said NATO identified 15 Tu-95 bombers, 20 Tu-22s, and at least one A-50 airborne early warning aircraft among the damaged or destroyed. Russia possesses only a small number of A-50s. The alliance estimates that 34% of Russia's missile carrier fleet was destroyed in the attack, a loss it described as critically damaging to Moscow's strike capabilities. The NATO official called the Ukrainian operation highly successful. At least 2 A-50 Russian surveillance aircraft were damaged in Ukraine's June 1st drone strike inside Russia, the Telegraph reported, citing footage viewed by the publication. Footage shared with the Telegraph reportedly shows Ukrainian drones hitting 2 A-50s, rare Russian spy planes that Moscow relies on for several critical functions in its full-scale war against Ukraine. Drones struck the radar domes of 2 A-50 aircraft, according to the Telegraph. One plane appeared to be protected by sandbags along its wings, while the other had tires arranged across its airframe. Open-source satellite images from May 2nd show 2 A-50s stationed at the Ivanovo Air Base in Russia's Ivanovo Oblast, one of the airfields targeted in Operation Spiderweb. The footage shared with the Telegraph makes it clear that these are the same A-50s damaged in the June 1st attack. The video also reportedly shows several Tupolev bombers in flames after sustaining direct hits from Ukrainian drones. An SBU source told the Kyiv Independent on June 1st that A-50s were among the aircraft hit in the attack, but the claim could not be verified at the time. Russia's A-50s detect air defense systems, guide missiles, and coordinate targets for Russian fighter jets. The aircraft carry an estimated price tag of around $350 million. They are also extremely rare. Kirilo Budanov, head of Ukraine's military intelligence agency, said in February 2024 that Moscow only had 6 A-50s in its arsenal. Ukraine previously shot down 2 A-50s in January and February 2024. Kyiv's audacious drone strike deep within Russia took 18 months of planning and dealt a major blow to Russia's fleet of bombers. Only days after Moscow launched a series of record-breaking mass aerial attacks against Ukraine, the SBU reported that the operation caused approximately $7 billion in damages and disabled 34% of cruise missile carriers in key Russian air bases. Russian Telegram channels claim that since the beginning of 2024, breakdowns on submarines of the Russian Black Sea Fleet have become more frequent because of Russian sailors deliberately damaging them to get more rest. For example, more than 50 minor incidents were recorded on the Kolpino and Krasnodar submarines, interfering with both planned and combat operations. As a result, all the vessels of the Black Sea Fleet were sent for an unscheduled inspection. The reasons for the breakdowns turned out to be very interesting. In all cases, clear signs of interference were found. Suspicions fell on junior officers who had recently arrived on duty, as the crew could rest during the repairs. Russian sources report that the Ukrainian strike on the Kerch Bridge to Crimea failed to damage the bridge itself due to the successful operation of protective structures around the bridge supports. According to the VCHK OGPU Telegram channel, a Russian source says that the attack on the Crimean bridge began today with a strike by a test underwater drone. The drone reached its target but failed to blow up the support due to the anti-drone flame arrestor. The anti-drone flame arrestor appears to be the term for the fence-like circular structure seen to the left of the bridge support. VCHK OGPU describes it as a type of sacrificial protection. One such arrestor is designed for one strike. The attack appears to have targeted the most vulnerable part of the bridge, the main span over the shipping channel. The same protective structures can clearly be seen from a satellite view. The one that was hit was approximately 13 meters wide. The channel reports, the protection was penetrated, but the bridge support was not damaged. The drone was indeed filled with a large charge of explosives. Part of the protective device flew out of the water 40 meters up and landed on the bridge. Because of this, traffic on the crossing was blocked for some time today. The drone attack is likely to have been an experimental attempt to see if the bridge's protective measures could be penetrated. On this occasion, they seem to have been effective. It's not clear whether Ukraine's claim to have planted 1,100 kilograms of explosives on the bridge relates to the drone attack. The attack is reported to have been carried out using a new 1,000-kilometer range underwater drone called Marichka. If the 1,100-kilogram figure is indeed the size of the drone's warhead, it would make it the largest conventional warhead ever carried by an underwater weapon. The Japanese Type 93 Long Lance torpedo in World War II had a 780-kilogram warhead. Russian guided aerial bombs can now strike targets up to 95 kilometers away and are reaching Kharkiv as well as settlements south of the city, according to Spartak Borisenko, head of the Kharkiv Regional Prosecutor's Office. Russia doesn't want peace. It modernizes its weapons to launch deadlier strikes on Ukrainians, on civilians.
On May 31st, 2025, at approximately 10:30 from the settlement of Tamarivka in the Belgorod region of the Russian Federation, 4 launches of guided aerial bombs from a Su-34 aircraft were carried out with a planning and correction module of increased range. That is a long-range guided bomb. This was the first use of the specified module in the Kharkiv region. If last year the average distance from the launch site to the impact site was 60 to 80 kilometers, now we can note that they employ these guided aerial bombs at a distance of 95 kilometers. Other heavier attachment systems are used, as well as enlarged wings. Also used are latest developments regarding the control of the specified wings. We understand that they are currently testing them. Perhaps the distance may even increase. Any place in Kharkiv may be targeted by these guided aviation bombs, and even beyond Kharkiv, as we saw this Saturday.
Ukraine's Navy has received CB-90 class fast assault craft from Sweden and Navy 18 WP class patrol boats from Estonia equipped with foldable anti-drone grills to enhance drone defense. Ukraine currently operates about 26 of the 40 pledged CB-90s and 2 NAVY 18 WPs. The Baltic and Nordic countries have been among Ukraine's strongest supporters since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, knowing the threat of Russian aggression firsthand, have provided significant military aid, including artillery, drones, and training for Ukrainian soldiers. Finland and Sweden, now both NATO members, are also contributing advanced equipment, financial aid, and humanitarian support. These countries host Ukrainian refugees, push for tougher EU sanctions on Russia, and lobby for long-term support to ensure Ukraine's victory. Their leadership within NATO and the EU reinforces unity against Russian aggression and sends a clear message. Europe stands firmly with Ukraine.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.